Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio on a very, very rainy day in New York. If my hat's still drenched, I apologize. But I got a very special guest in the building. Fort Worth, Texas, in the building. 88 Killa. What up?
What up? What up?
Was that a good intro?
Yeah.
I was starting to choke at the end. I was like, I felt my breath running out. I was like, I got to get the Fort Worth, Texas part out of there.
No, 817, we here. What's up?
Salute. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here. You're the... I want to say I've done like 300 plus interviews, so I don't want to just say you're the second. You're definitely at least the second or third artist though that from Fort Worth, Texas that I've had on the show.
That makes me proud that we out here making little moves.
Yeah. I love when Texas artists come to visit me because I feel like
all we need is the excuse, man. Like all we need is the excuse so we can be like, I'm up in New York doing important stuff. Yeah, so like that's real important and real exciting to our followers back home that we are even up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like I've only ever been to Houston, right? Because I go to Houston every year for Travis's festival, the Astroworld Festival. I think I started going in 2019. That was my first time ever in Texas. But I really like it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I really thoroughly had a great time in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I've only been to one city, so I'm not gonna make complete generalizations about all of Texas based off of Houston. Yeah. But the time I spent in Houston has been fun. Like y'all got some great fucking food.
For sure.
Y'all got some great barbecue.
Oh yeah.
And it's just been every time I go down there, it's love. I love Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I encourage all New Yorkers to make at least one trip. You know, we're definitely a lot slower. Pace
lot
down
slower,
a lot slower pace, but I mean you can get into some real fun if you're with the right people, man. Like for sure.
Is this your first time in New York or?
Nah. This is probably like my fourth or fifth time, but like every time I come, we do something completely different. So it's like I unlock certain parts. It's like some like Grand Theft Auto mission. Like now I'm like over here kicking it versus.
It's like the video games when you're like Assassin's Creed or some shit where it's like you got to go to the different areas of the map and then like they open up and all of a sudden you're like, oh, yeah, I found a new area of the map.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you like where I stayed the last 2 or 3 times here because it's like completely different. So yeah.
But you in Bed-Stuy this time?
Yeah, for sure.
And how do you like Brooklyn? Did you stay in Brooklyn last time or were you somewhere else?
Nah, we were like in the Wall Street district. I think it was, and it was like super corny and like
not as fun. Yeah, I looked at you. I was like, damn. So I feel like if you stay in like Manhattan, if you're like. Times Square is okay, but Times Square is too touristy. Like it gets like it's really like not a great representation of New York. Brooklyn is obviously like the cultural center of like everything going on right now. So I feel like you picked the perfect place this time because like I said, we were talking about like, yo, what do you want? You're like, where do I go tonight? And I'm like, yo, literally just walk up and down Broadway and find a place because that's literally how easy it is. Or in Queens, you could just go to like Astoria and like there's like 1,000,001 hookah lounges and bars and clubs and strip clubs and shit like that. There's like a million things to do.
I gotta have another excuse to come out here then, because we've only been out here for like 2 or 3 days, so it's like so much to do. But like I definitely want to like explore. I like all the times I've been here, I've never even been to Queens yet.
Really?
Yeah.
You definitely driven through Queens because if you coming through like JFK.
Now we land in LaGuardia, man.
That's in Queens, bro.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, LaGuardia is Queens.
All right.
Right next to LaGuardia is a story where all the hookah bars and shit I was telling you at.
All right.
See, I got you. Come on, bro. That's what we here for.
Yeah, put me on then.
That's what we here for. Are you tapped in with like any New York music at all? Like, are you know what I'm saying? Like, I always wonder that because like I like kind of gauging how artists from other states and cities like.
Of course, like they play like the Pop Smoke and like the real major dudes out. For a while, I like this guy named Manolo Rose, but I haven't seen or heard from him. Like
name sounds familiar.
He had some joints like a couple years ago.
Okay,
but like as far as like the underground, not really. In Texas, we get whatever's like the guy here, like,
right? Of course,
you really have to like delve in if you want to really get into the underground. You might catch like the Rosenberg show that he does like online, or if you're into podcasts. But like, I mean, of course, like Griselda, like they're kings down there, and
right?
Like when them dudes come to town, like it's a wave, so for sure. But like as far as like super underground, I'm not really well versed in the New York underground.
How long have you been doing music? Like from the very beginning.
Ooh, man, probably like middle school.
Okay.
I always tell this story like I grew up and I wanted to be like a background dancer. That was like my ultimate goal. Like I wanted to like break dance and shit.
I love it.
So like me and my homie found like one copy of like Beach Street. And like
I'm dead. That's
so we were like, yo, bro, we're about to just be the ultimate break dancers and like tour the world. And my sister was hating like, bro, nobody's gonna book you to like just dance. You got to like do something. So I'm like, well, shit, I'm gonna rap and then break dance. Like that was my master plan, and it really kind of kicked off for me. Like I was in middle school dating this chick, and I caught her like making out with some other fool in the hallway.
Okay.
So me and my mans went home and like made a diss track to this fool and passed it out, and like in the hallways or AKA streets and passed it out, and that caught wind, and like ever since then just had little ups and downs with it. And back then all that stuff was like super trash, but like now I'm starting to get like listenable, and we're here now.
That's funny. I love how your music career started because some girl in middle school did you dirty.
Yeah, and like, she's trash now. I want that for the record.
he's still holding a grudge from middle. Nah, I mean, like, look, it's funny because I always be like, it doesn't matter how old you are. If someone from middle school did you dirty, you be remembering that shit. Well, like, they be nice as hell now to you. Yeah. They be like, hey, what's up? Fuck you.
Straight
you know
up,
what I'm saying?
Man, straight up. Because she was like, back in middle school, like she was nice, you know, and then so to hit the corner and see her making out with some fool, you're just like, damn. And he was like on the basketball team. It was like so corny too. I was like, yo, you hit me with a basketball player. So he ain't even in the league now. So like, you did all that for nothing. I want to say her name, but I don't want to do her like that.
No. That was a long time ago.
She'll come for us.
She'll come. Yeah, she'll be in the comments like, why are you talking about me? I'm a sue.
Yep.
Defamation lawsuit.
Yep. I don't give her no reasons.
So that's kind of like was like the beginning of your career, and then you were obviously you were playing around with it for a while, and like you said, like some of it, but obviously early days, it's middle school, high school, it's never like the best product, but now we're here now. We're here now.
Like I linked up with when I went off to college, linked up with some guys, and we had like a crew, and that really kind of like that's how I met like Rico and all of them, where we had like a crew, and that crew really built a name and like a following back then. We were called Brain Gang, and it was like 7 or 8 or 9 of us. We had producers and artists and all that, but we were running around saying we were like the Dallas version of Wu-Tang, because that was like the best way people could kind of like categorize.
Was Rico rapping?
Nah. Rico's always been like the manager role, like back then. Like he was the manager. He was the good smooth talker, good at networking and stuff. He never stepped in front of the mic. Okay,
well, if you do have a rap track of our good friend Rico, I would love to get it. Not for leverage or anything like that. Just for my own personal interest. Now I'm playing Rico. I love you.
I'll have to probably look. I doubt it though. I doubt it. He was always really cool at playing the background. He never really wanted the.
I know you got a rap. I know he got a rap track out there. But
he probably do. He probably do.
So y'all were calling yourself the what Wu-Tang? The what Wu-Tang?
The Brain Gang. We were the Dallas version.
The Dallas version of Wu-Tang. Okay.
Because that was the best way to like when people were like, "Well, what are y'all about?" And we're like, "Bro, we're just like Wu-Tang, but like Dallas based." And I mean, because we all had different styles, we were all different characters, and it was like 8 or 9 of us jumping off stage, mosh pitting, and all that type of stuff.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah, it was, man. It was like blog era. So like we were trying to crack through that door, and some of us have went on to get signed. Bobby Sessions was in that group. He was signed on Def Jam. Yeah. There was a guy named JT. He went by Justice for a little bit. He got picked up on Aftermath.
Nice.
Me and another producer got picked up on this like super indie label based out of Europe. They ended up folding later after that, so we're back independent. But like, and then one of our producers, he had ties to like TDE. He was like related to them. So
dope.
Yeah, we had like a little.
So y'all plugged in. Yeah, y'all plugged in. Y'all connected.
Yeah, we were all like legends and stars in our own right and in our own community. Like,
right.
So,
what was it like being signed to like a European label? Like, how is that like different than being assigned to an American label?
They were cool. Like, they found us basically online. It was me and one of my good producer friends, and they flew out and like really like hung out and just wanted to get like see if we were who we said we were, you know. And that particular weekend it was epic. Like I had a show and I used to host this club, and so when they came out, they came with me to the club, and like everybody's dapping me up and excited, like I look like I had the juice, you know. And I was cool for sure, and they were really excited about the music. They were just really like. We had an American rep and liaison who stayed here in America, who was kind of like our A&R guy / label connection. So it was cool other than like the time difference. I mean, at the time they did everything they said they were going to do with promoting and marketing the music, but then like typical label stuff, our American rep did some like shiesty stuff with the business and the money that was coming in, and basically kind of like tanked the label financially and then rolled off into the sunset. And luckily at the time, my lawyer that I had hired like set up my contract to where like I didn't lose anything other than just kind of like time. Like I kept all my like music rights and the money that I did generate.
So it didn't affect you too much.
Yeah, I mean, it hurt the momentum because we had a lot of cool things
coming
in play and in motion, and then the money that the label was sending over wasn't making it to us. It was like stopping at him.
He was taking it, maybe going buying like his family a pool or some shit.
You know, going to the bar, chasing girls with it and stuff like that, and then rode off into the sunset.
Strip clubs.
Yeah,
like you and I were just talking about before the internet. Strip
they'll
club.
do it to you out there, man.
Man, I just picture this like this random guy just walking in with bundles of bread. It's just like, I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, man, and he used to get turned and like drunk, and because they used to sign some like pop stars too at the time, like pop singers from Dallas, and we were at this award show. This is like a complete side story, but like this fool got shit faced. And the pop singer was like, "This is bad for us. This is bad for us." And I'm like, "Nah, I'm a rapper. Like, this is epic for me." Like,
you just it's like, oh wow, y'all are just as a mess as we are.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They say rap shows are bad.
Yeah, he was a cool guy aside from him running off with the funds, man. But you know, I hope he's doing all right.
So how's that transition to? How long ago was that?
This was some years ago, 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Okay,
maybe.
so you've been doing the independent stuff for a while now.
Yeah.
So how's that been going? How do you feel like that's been for you in terms of like kind of working and putting out the music and all that?
It's definitely one of those things where like you got to be your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
Some of the music I make isn't necessarily on trend or kind of in the vein of what's popular right now, and so it takes a while for people to get it, and then you just have to want to stick to your guns. And of course, like the financial aspect of being independent, like it takes so much of your own money. You know, you gotta hustle, scrape and scratch to get money to keep this thing moving, to where when you're with a entity, they handle all that. But mainly it's just being your biggest cheerleaders, you know, because you be like that old Kanye lyric, like, are these motherfuckers that much better than me? Like,
yeah,
fact.
Like,
you know, you're really just trying to like stay motivated, man. And there's just so many obstacles being thrown at you from the independent side. So,
what do you feel like has been the biggest obstacle you had to overcome?
Balance, man. Time balance. Like, as you get older, you know, you have to work a 9 to 5. Then I just had a kid. So
congratulations.
Like, man, thanks, man.
Boy or girl?
Girl.
Oh, change your life type
Yeah,
child.
I mean, for sure. And then, you know, so you got to be there for your old lady. You got to be there for your kid. You got to you got to work. You got to find time to rap. And then you got your family. So there's so many people that are pulling you in different directions, to where like you got to like stay focused and like force yourself to have time to do this. Like, you know, it's 1 a.m. in the morning. You're like, man, I just got to pin this 16 real quick. You know, just to make
changing
sure.
a diaper, think about the bars and shit like that. Like, oh, okay.
Like this whole album that I just dropped was literally written like in my car to and from work, or like on the way home.
Oh,
like,
wow.
That's the only time I've ever had to like, I used to spitting bars and like voice notes just to piece stuff together. So like that's the balance that you have to try to find to pull this off.
No, I agree. I think it's like everything is like a balancing act, and I think it's funny how, but I feel like the car stuff could be like the best stuff that comes out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. Like my whole music, and like I'm big into cars, specifically BMWs. So like that's kind of what I wanted to make music for, was for you to listen to it while you're riding.
Luxury rap, kind of.
Yeah. Just more so like we spend a lot of time in our cars. Over in Texas, we don't have like subways.
Oh, don't worry. My car's parked down there. Car. I spend most of my time in my car, not on the subway.
So that's cool. That's like that's kind of what I wanted to envision, and then really that's probably the only time someone's not like screaming at you, a baby's not screaming at you, like so. And I get so many ideas,
right,
like while riding. So it's like, man, boom, just hit the voice notes real quick, and then before you know it, got a whole record.
We were having a conversation. Shout out my boy Ruby Rosa. We were talking about like, I was like, yo, bro, you ever ride? Because he's an artist manager. I'm like, bro, you ever ride the train? He's like, fuck no. I'd rather drive everywhere. I'll sit in traffic for 3 hours before I ride the train. But he made a good point, because it's like, he's like, on the train, like, obviously you're with so many people, you're standing around so many people, whatever. But in the car, he's like, I have my own personal space. I got my music. I can chill. No one bother me. It's just a vibe.
For sure. I mean,
feel me?
The subway, because we from out of town, like, that's just an adventure for us. Like, we're like, oh, we're on the subway. But I can see, like, if you live here daily, like, you wouldn't be talking about that at all, man. Like, people, there was a dude over here, like, sleeping, spazzing out to himself. A girl spilled iced coffee on a whole bench, and it's just like.
Did that bother you? That's every day.
I mean, it's just unfortunate that bench was taken out of commission now, you know, because she spilled iced coffee all over, and it's like, damn.
Bro, the iced coffee is like the last thing you got to worry about when you sit on one of those benches, my man. The last thing you got to worry about is when you say, you know what I'm saying? You go to a club, you go to a bar around here, you see a couch in the back, you don't sit on that couch, bro.
All right, that's good advice.
You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you a college story later on in my first night in college why I learned don't sit on the couches.
Damn.
But even like, you know, I'm looking at the track list, like Mink Melody, like I was like, that's like that when I was listening to it, that was like also one of those records that I was like, I see what he's trying to do with this project.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure. That was spawned from when I was in that crew. We had a big show at like a pretty big venue back in Dallas, and that was a big deal because everybody on that bill was like local underground. We didn't have any radio play or any label support, but we had sold out, and so that was like a huge deal for every one of the artists on that bill. And at the time, I was kind of renowned for like wearing like a crazy outfit or a crazy jacket, and so I found
you still do.
Yeah. Well, this is part of it because I had found this like Margiela mink coat for thrift, like at a thrift, and I was like, I'm grabbing. It was $15, and I was like,
first of all, Texas thrift stores are elite. I will say
yeah,
I got the illest biker jacket in Houston. I put that shit in my suitcase. It would have closed, but
So like, I walk out onto the stage wearing the jacket, and like the crowd was like super excited to the point like nobody remembers anything I like rapped about or said anything like performance wise, but now it's like, yo, you came out with the Mink. So then I started buying more, and now people expect me to like check the mail wearing the Mink. Like they get disappointed if I'm not wearing it. So like,
I feel them.
When you wear
I'm disappointed you're not wearing it now.
I mean, it couldn't fit in my suitcase. I really thought about bringing it.
I'm fucking with you.
I really thought about bringing it.
It's too hot. If you actually wore it in this interview, I would have been like, bro.
Nah, you stay cool. You never get hot in it. You like that's the attitude you gotta have for it. But
I sweat, bro.
Like it was one of those things where like when the Mink Coat melody is like if my Mink could rap, like that's what it would say. Because you really when you put it on, you got to be ready because
like
people are gonna come for you. You the man when you got that on. So
I like that. I didn't ask. So where does your name come from? Like, what's the story behind that?
All right. So 88. That's the year I was born.
Okay.
Dallas Cowboy fan. So Michael Irvin was like the man growing up.
Of course.
So like always looked up to him. I like the 8 represents like infinity, and it's just kind of like my music will live on like forever. Like my music and everything that I stand for will translate forever. Killa is like my ode to like my favorite rapper, which is Cameron. Yeah,
New York shit.
Yeah, it's like top 5, number 1 for me. That's just my guy.
They still got washed.
And then, man, look, me and my mans to this day, we send each other records like, why they didn't play this?
I know, I was thinking, like, no, the whole verse, I'm like, you could have played this record. Like, what is going on?
To this day, we send each other like, what were they thinking?
No, they was just unprepared, but.
Bro, and don't even get me started. But like, so whenever he would say like some cold ass shit, he would just be like, Killa. And I was like, you know, young impressionable youth, just being like, damn, that shit's hard. So like, that's like, I just had to have that to my name.
And it's funny because I even wrote down your Twitter bio on my note sheet, and it said first member of Dipset South, 5th member of Jodeci, 11th member of Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Which I was like, yo, what the fuck is he talking about, bro?
So like Dipset South is like this running joke between me and my man. Shout out my nice. We were working at McDonald's, and we were the only like black fools there. The whole staff was like Spanish, and we were the only English speaking people there. So they put us in the drive-thru because we could only talk to the customers. And one day this fool was rapping some Diplomat stuff, and like back then, like in Texas, no, they weren't listening to the Diplomats like at all. Like it's super trendy now, but back then, like you would get, they were like, "What you listen to that East Coast shit?" Like, man, them fools whack. Yeah. So me and him spent like an hour like quizzing each other about like Dipset lingo and Dipset like songs because we were just trying to see like, yo, is you really about this life, fam? So when we both passed each other's tests, we became like the best of friends. And so like now we were just like, soon as Diplomats, if they ever come down here, they would never come to Texas. But like we were like, we'd rap on Dipset beats. I mean, you could have swore I was Cameron, he was Jim Jones. Like, we just embodied it to the point where we were like, yo, we're gonna get signed, bro. Like, we're gonna rap for Jay, we're gonna rap for Cam, and then they're gonna start like Dipset South, and we're gonna be the first members.
Kind of like Death Row East.
Yeah, like that's. I mean, we just knew, like, high school, like, it was only a matter of time before they found us, and we would get signed to Dipset South and take over the way.
So fun. I think I kind of love that, and the fact that you've been able to, like rock with that on your Twitter bio is so funny to me.
Yeah, like, I mean, I had an opportunity to open up for Cameron twice when he came to Dallas.
Whoa, that's dope.
And so, like, after that, like, I'm pretty much good with rap. If I never rap again, like, I met Cameron like twice.
You opened up for him.
Yeah, so like that's full circle, you know. Like, I'm sure he probably doesn't even remember it himself, but like it was just like we shook hands, we took pictures, and I told him like, yo, you were such like a huge influence on my life, you know, like one of his lyrics was like, you can't get paid in the earth this big, you worthless kid. And I thought that shit, like, when I was a teenager, just like, yo.
Yeah.
So like, if you can't get paid, like, you got to get on it. So, like, they've just been so integral into, like, our development. So that's where I'm, like, first member of Dipset South. If they ever want to start the label, like, let's go.
You're like, I'm still ready, and I'm still
ready to get the eagle and everything. Like, it's whatever.
I'm dead. So why 88 special for this project?
It's just a special, like, it's a continuation of my projects where I had like 88 carats for 88 karat gold, 88 BPM. I just thought that was a hard ass title.
That is hard. I do like that one. Yeah,
and then like 88 special, because it took so long to get this project like going, like life, you know, moving, apartments. I fell in love, had a kid, so it took so much for this to stay and get some traction behind it, that this was like special, you know, as corny as that sounds. So like, this is 88 special, and I'm actually been really kind of blown away with like the support back home and the excitement from like people that are like getting turned on to it, to where it's like, damn, this project is special. So yeah,
that's dope. So with this, what do you hope that this project is gonna do for you? Because it's fresh out. What's it been, a few weeks, or I'm bugging?
About a week or so.
About a week or so. Yeah. I don't know why the date August 10th. I know it wasn't August 10th, but that date just kept circling my mind. So it's been out for like a week or so, right? What do you hope that this project does for you in the long run? Since, you know, when we're recording this, it's only been out for a short period of time.
I mean, in the long run, just I want people to know that like I'm serious, and this is me sticking my flag and putting on for like where I'm from in the scheme of Texas hip hop and stuff like that. Like, we have Houston, who's a huge flag, huge cultural influence, on Fort Worth, and even in Dallas. You know, there's so many different styles and people that have made names. With this one, I just basically want to stick my flag and be like, I'm over here, you know, and we hold it down. So when you come to DFW, I want you to hit certain spots because you heard it in my record. You know, I want you to hit the stockyards and be like, man, this is where they be at, you know. So I just want to stick my flag.
This is where they be at, but safety. I'm gonna have a squad with me.
I mean, nah, you good. I mean, Texas is it's open carry. We legal.
Yeah, y'all open carry. That's my thing.
But I mean, we got them. Like, you're not gonna be around anybody that ain't got one on them. You know. Like,
I know that every time I go to Houston. Trust me, I know.
Like, I took my homegirl Morgan. She moved up here to New York, and she be up here on her little cowgirl swag sometime, and I'm like, yo, you can't be up there in New York and never shot a gun. So like, when she came back, I really put her through some training, and we went to the gun range and let some shots off. If you know, it started out real rough for her. You know, she was missing the target completely. The little safety instructor man was like, yo, the burglar would feel real safe with the gun in your hands. But we got her up to speed so that she can defend herself now. So.
You keep that blicky on her.
Yeah. So yeah, if you come through, like, we got to take you through the gun range, sit you through the stockyard, see some livestock, you know.
Some livestock. What do you mean?
Yeah, like longhorns, some cows,
okay,
like some horses. Like, you
my aunt's playing Puerto Rican farmer upstate, so I be around some, you know.
Man, you got to come down there. Like, they got a class called like the Future Farmers of America, where you start your journey like raising a pig, and then like at the end of the year, if that pig dies, like, you fail, bro. You cannot become a farmer, bro.
Yo, what the fuck y'all be doing down there?
Preparing you, bro.
For what?
Hey, you got to live off the land like we the real cowboys, you know? So that's something like...
Respectfully, my halal card is like $5 for dinner.
Damn. Like...
Cam, we confirm like $5 for dinner, right? $5 times 5, $25 a week. That's five. You know, you feel me?
You got to come down.
You ever had a halal?
No.
Oh man.
You got to put me on, bro.
You ever had a chopped cheese?
Yeah.
Okay.
She just put me on like
but it depends where he get a chopped cheese from. Okay.
Yeah, we got.
Okay. I gotta see what bodega she's talking about. What corner store she's talking about?
Yeah, she had some like Chipotle mayo or something on it. It was all right.
An Ock made it. An Ock made it.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna trust you.
I mean, they had a bodega cat in there.
Okay. You got it.
I feel like we had a real experience.
It's when you walk into the bodega and they don't got the manager in there, and you just like look and like there's not an Ock behind the counter. You'd be like,
nah,
where am I? That's a gentrification bodega. That's what I call that.
They was in there. You know, the dude was ignoring us for a little bit.
Oh, he ignored you?
Yeah.
Oh, you in the right spot. You in the right spot. Yeah.
Well, you know, we from the South, so we trying to be respectable and wait to make eye contact and, you know, be like, hey, excuse me, sir, we'd like to order. And the homie was like, not hearing it.
You want to laugh? When I went my first time in Texas and I got my hotel, I'm walking in like the parking lot area, and there's two guys walking towards us, and they say, "Hey, how's it going?" And I was like, "Fuck you!" Like, I'm like, who you talking to? Because it was honest, and I apologized after, but it was just like one of those like visceral responses, like, you know what I'm saying? It was force of habit. Because if I don't know you, why the fuck you talking to me? You know what I'm saying? Like
if they ask you how it's going out there, like they letting you know, like we see you and like what's up, bro. Like
I know, I learned that. I
about to just be walking around not speaking out there.
I was very apologetic. It was just a force of habit. Because if someone talked to me out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you on the train, someone try to talk to you, hey, yo, stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. Like, I don't know you. Stop talking. Or unless, you know what I'm saying? There'll be artists who come up to me and too. They'll be like, oh, I recognize you from this. I'll be like, and I'll be nice to them. But, like, random people, I'll be like, what is this?
For sure. Nah.
Y'all so nice down there. It's crazy.
I mean, because everybody armed, bro. Like, it ain't no. You get the trip and it's the quick draw McGraw, bro. Like, it's nothing.
I love y'all, man. Y'all are great. Y'all are hilarious. Okay, so back to the music stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this is out, right? We got some videos on the way.
For sure.
What do we got coming out?
It's a song called St. Killa de Alta Mesa. Alta Mesa.
Beautiful name.
Yeah, Alta Mesa is like a street, ironically, where my first job was.
Okay.
And it's like this McDonald's sits on the corner, and that's just the street we rode up and down till like we're blue in the face. So it's just one of those streets again that when you come, like, I want you to go out of your way to see Alta Mesa. And it ain't nothing like crazy on there. It's just a regular ass street. You're gonna be like, damn, why this fool even shouted out? Yeah. But it's like, no, it's from where we from. So it's one of those things where, especially I had this logo design where it's me doing like the prayer hands and like stained glass.
Okay.
And so people were like, yo, that's like some Saint Killa. So that's one of my another monikers. So it's like,
how many monikers you have?
I mean, man, I make them up all the time. I'm like Elvis Killa Freshly.
Elvis Killa Freshly.
You know,
that's hard.
Yeah, man. Off the top of the head, I'll make something up crazy. So,
okay, so we got
my mood.
Wait, are there any more? It's fitting because I was about to go into another question, but if there's any more, I must hear them.
Nah, don't put me on the spot. I'll remember it later on. Let's go to.
You'll bring it up at the end of the interview.
Yeah, for sure.
You ever seen like we at the end of the interview when I ask you, I'm like, yo, okay, so let the people know they can follow you. You got to say your name, but then also start saying all your other monikers in there.
For sure.
So we got video. Okay, so the video for that's on the way. Do we have any more music on the way this year?
I mean, I got some collabs with some homies back home.
Okay.
Hopefully they drop them, or I'm gonna reuse the verses. Like, they got a very small window. I'm not big on like fools just collecting my voice for like mad long and it never be heard. Like, I'll drop it.
I like that.
I'll reuse that verse so quick, and then I'll probably start working on another project. I got like some other artists that I want to start working on and developing their EPs.
Cool.
I want to get my like Birdman on and like really start kind of like facilitating and putting other fools out. So with this album out, I have a little more free time to like develop somebody else that I want to work with and work on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Because I was going to even ask him, like, are you going to be working with any other artists? Like, well, besides, obviously, outside the management thing, but, like, working, like, features and things like that.
Man, I want to, for sure. Like, I want to get my paper up or whatever, like, network up. But, I mean, I want to. Like, I always tell people, like, for whatever reason, like, A$AP Rocky, like, I feel like that's, me and him would be friends, man. Like, like that fool's cool. His album, whatever the one with him, I forget the name, but, like, the most recent one. A lot of people hated. Yeah, a lot of people kind of like really kind of hated on it and slept on it, but after a while, like I was listening to it and it started speaking to me, like while writing.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those records that you needed time with it.
Yeah, and like I just kind of feel like I understand what he's doing musically. So and he's talking to a specific type of person. Like when artists first come out, they appeal to a wide range, and then they really kind of start delving into their niche. And then like the fan, if you were a real fan, you kind of see where they're going. And that's kind of what's happened with like me, with him and Dom and just some other artists where I'm like, I get what they trying to do. And if they would just hit me up, bro, we would all be friends and make fire music. So like I'm
A$AP Rocky, hit him up.
Straight up. and you know, he's from Harlem and they're like descendants of the Diplomats kind of.
I'm dead. Like, everything goes back to Dipset.
Straight up, it starts with the Dips. so yeah, I feel like we would make some real cool shit. Especially because he loved Texas. So why not come up here and let's get it.
Facts. Well, look, I appreciate you being here. I'm looking forward to the freestyle that we about to have you do. We're between two beats right now, but when we're filming this. But if you're watching this, the day it comes out, tomorrow, come back. The freestyle will be here. Anything else you want to let the people know? Now's the time to go ahead and do it. This camera right here, and where they can find you out on social media. Make sure you throw that in there.
All right. First of all the social media is the same. 88 Killa. As far as letting the people know, I'm a smooth skin, brown skin, attractive young man. Unfortunately, I'm not single, so I mean, you could still follow me though.
Off the market.
Yeah. I had to put that out. Shout out to Kitty. That's the old lady. She's the first lady too, you know. So I got to shout her out because she's holding it down with my young Celine. It's the future right there.
Shout out to young queen.
Yeah. So. Other than that, man, I'm making music for the G's. You know, if you want something respectable to ride around when you're with a lady, it's not too harsh, but it's not too soft. You know, you want some G shit, like, you know, tap in with me because I'm real particular on what we ride to. Unfortunately, if you have a Toyota RAV4 or like a Nissan Altima, you are not permitted to listen to my music because those are the worst cars ever. So I encourage you to like crash them, get out of them immediately, and get you something where you can ride in respect, especially if you're an adult male. You shouldn't be riding in those unless your parents gave you to, you know, but other than that, do not go buy those cars on purpose. And I want all the smoke with Toyota and Nissan for making such horrible automobiles. We mainly ride German around here. BMWs, Audis are okay. That's who I make music for. So tap in, you know, follow me. If you need help getting out of the Toyota RAV4, continue to listen to me and I will inspire you to make better life decisions. And, you know, but if you're in a Nissan, I can't help you. You're already gone, bro. But yeah, 88 Killa, follow me. Also, if you're in mail and you have a picture of your shirt off on your page, just go ahead and block me because that's unacceptable, bro. You shouldn't be shirtless online. I don't play that. It's inappropriate. And other than that, you can find me on, you know, if you look in your girl's save folder on Instagram, I'm probably got a picture in there where she's, you know, saved me for future reference when you dropping the ball. You can find me everywhere, man. So just tap in.
Well, there you have it. Yeah. Don't drive Toyotas or Nissans.
No,
don't
please,
do it. Come on.
Please.
Don't do it. I'm a Jeep guy.
That's, you know, that's respectable. Yeah. You know, Jeep.
It's a New York thing, too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, y'all got waters, terrains, concrete out here. Yeah, that's cool.
No, we don't even be taking that shit on the terrain. I just have it just because it looks cool.
You gotta take it on the terrain, man. You gotta open it up, bro. Like,
one of these days, I will.
You got a lion in a cage right now. You gotta open it up.
I'm gonna take your advice, but I won't be driving a Nissan or a Toyota anytime soon. We passed that.
Don't do that to yourself, man. Like, honestly, like if I was dialed a Uber and it's like a Nissan, like I will like cancel that boy. Like I don't even want to be seen in one, bro. It's like dangerous.
It's like all the Ubers in New York, bro.
Nah, that's why we Uber black, bro, because they're the only people that are like respectable driving vehicles. Like if I hop out of a Nissan, like they're not safe vehicles, bro. Like they just gonna break down. Like don't even get me started on them, bro. So
my man got some PTSD. Well, anyway, he gonna hop on the freestyle. We gonna sign off for the day. 88 Killa on the radar. Appreciate you, bro.
Boom, Fort Worth.
Yes, sir.